Okay, I want to give you a quick rundown so you don't have to watch the whole video, so you know what to do in order to fix the shifter being stuck in drive and neutral. So if it'll go in drive and then neutral, but it won't go past neutral, and maybe you were able to get it into reverse and park, but then it happened again. Basically, there's chunks of plastic that have sheared off where the shifter kind of moves around. In the shifter, there's something like rubbery plastic, and I guess whenever it was manufactured, it maybe wasn't cut perfectly, so with just using the car, it shears off and then it falls down and can just by chance get stuck in the mechanism and then make it stop moving, and then you think there's something wrong with the transmission and all that. So you'll have to remove the shifter in order to do that. You can do everything from inside the car, and I'll show you the parts of the video where you do that. But basically, you're going to take the shifter out, you're going to remove the cover on the shifter, and you're going to have to remove the solenoid. This is insane. I was not joking around. So probably just, it's like little plastic chunks. So that's kind of weird. And shake out carefully any parts upside down to get any chunks of plastic. But what happened to me is I did that. Many plastic pieces came out, put everything back together, put it in the car, still wouldn't go into reverse or park. So I kind of assumed that it was a bigger problem. I might have to order a new shifter. So I decided to take it back out, open it back up again, and the yellow tab that's used to get the car out of park if it's stuck in park, that pushes on the solenoid back in there. That'll hold it. So you can see, I push this piston and it'll have a little pressure. That's how it should be. And then that's what you're essentially doing when you push this tab down. So you're pushing that solenoid in and out. I removed that, and then what fell out was the little mechanism that allows you to take it out of park. It's a little metal clip and a plastic lever. Hey! And then down in there, I used a flathead to kind of force the mechanism in the bottom to move. Mechanism in there, I used a flathead to push up on it, and that's what that's what that yellow tab is for, and that connects to this little mechanism that allows you to put it back in park. Now that mechanism wasn't working when I had it out, so I took my flathead and I forced it up myself after taking out the the solenoid to release the park, and then at that point it went into park, and then a plastic piece fell out. Another plastic piece fell out. Where is it? There it is. So this popped out after I lifted that mechanism in the bottom. And at that point, I was able to get the shifter, while it was out of the car, back into reverse and park. Then I turned it upside down and more plastic pieces came out, and definitely like a bigger chunk, which is probably was lodged in the mechanism and wasn't allowing it to move. So I just double checked, make sure everything was out again, replaced the little metal clip with the lever that goes to the solenoid, put the solenoid back in. That's what holds this metal piece and the lever in the shifter. Make sure that's in properly. Put the cover back on, reinstall the shifter with the harnesses and everything, and that was it. The shifter works fine. I've been driving it every day, absolutely no issues. And you'll see in the video I did make sure that in that plastic area in the shifter, I sanded off any areas that might shear off potentially more, just to avoid this happening again. And that's pretty much it. So the rest of the video, you'll be able to see kind of what happened to me, taking the shifter out, putting it in, taking it back out, testing the transmission to see if it moves in all the gears. So that was, once I got the shifter out, I could just use my hand to push the rod back and forth into the different gears. So I knew it wasn't a transmission issue. The rod, it's really unlikely that that would bend or do something. So that was fine too. And you definitely don't want to, what I realize is you definitely don't want to like force the thing back into reverse or park, because then you could potentially break something. So I'm glad I didn't do that. I know I'm relieved that I didn't have to spend $600 on a new shifter. And if I would have bought a used one, potentially the exact same thing would happen again anyway. And it was just a piece of plastic. So it's kind of silly. Okay, enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. And remember, you're wonderful, beautiful, talented, and amazing just the way you are. And if you don't believe it, well, start believing it already, because it's the truth for every single one of us here on planet Earth. So to remove the boot, you can just kind of claw at the side there and pop up. And then you're just going to twist this thing to the left or counterclockwise, and that'll slide down, and then you'll be able to remove the shifter. So I'm going to rotate it clockwise until it locks. It's locked, and I can put that shifter back. That's it. As you can see, it refuses to go into so I got to keep the emergency brake on so it doesn't roll. Bummer. Then there's these two wires that were plugged into there, so that got so I could remove that thing. And now I'm removing these bolts that are holding the shifter in. I'm putting them down here on the floor. This also pops out, this console. And I'm not going to disconnect those because I don't really need to. So yes, I'm just removing these. I don't really have proper sockets, but I'm able to, the thing broke. I got one of these cheap tool kits from Amazon, and yeah, the ratchet screwdriver already broke. It doesn't come with socket wrenches, so yeah. So this is what I'm doing right now is if I can focus. Okay, put those down there so they don't go anywhere. Okay. Now there's two. So get those out, and then there's this I guess, shifting rod thing. I believe you gotta rotate it to the left to get it out. I don't know. I'm gonna take a look at that and see. Okay. So yeah, turning this to the left, then it'll slide out, and then I guess you rotate it, and then yeah. So I can pull this thing out now. The ashtray will literally attack you while you're trying to do this. And I still have to get these harnesses out. Let's see if I can do it with a little flathead. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Okay, so I got the harnesses off, so that allowed me to now lift this thing up. And now you can see there's some linkage there to the ground too. I know I need to release this guy right there. It's a little, it just slides out, so I'm gonna make sure I grab that so I can pull the shifter out. That's the thing that held in that shifter linkage to the shifter. So I just use needle nose pliers, as you can see, to pull that thing out. You just pull it, but I did make sure I had a good grip on it, so that way I wouldn't drop it down in there. Okay, we'll leave those there, and I'm gonna bring this shifter, I guess, upstairs and work on it. There's my fancy Amazon toolbox. At least some of the stuff still works. Okay, so the other thing is I take the shift rod in my hand, and I can go from park, reverse, neutral, and into drive. So from drive, neutral, reverse, park. Nice and easy. So I know it's something in the shifter that's stopping it from doing this. The rod is fine. Transmission is fine. Okay, so I got a light here. I'm just looking down in it. This is these two little pieces, and they're small. So this is my fingernail. It's smaller than my fingernail. And there's another little piece there. It looks discolored in comparison to this, so I don't know. I think maybe it just sheared off the side of this, because it looks like that's what's down in there. I don't know if that's sand or just plastic in there. So I want to clean that up, and then I can reinstall it. After moving, I didn't bring anything. And then remove this, and remove the connector, and then I think it'll let me take this cover off. Okay, this clip comes out. I don't know if I have to. Screws. Good. bit of glue holding this thing down, as our friend said, and it is the truth. There's more than just a bit of glue. It's no joke. Sounds horrible. I was not joking around. I don't know if I'm gonna have to get that back in, take that solenoid out or not. So it looks like there's just some dirt and stuff, nothing crazy. So probably just, it's like little plastic chunks. So that's kind of weird. I think that's just grease. Dude, the glue on there, seriously, is insane. Wanna make sure there's nothing else in there. It might just be like a washer moving around. Found where it broke off. Oops. Take a look. That looks like the piece that broke off. So I think it's just like a, I would almost say it's like a manufacturing defect, where it didn't remove the plastic before everything was installed. So shifting it, it kept on hitting it and eventually just broke it off, and then it fell into the actual shifter. And it wasn't able to shift anymore. Yeah, that's what it was. It just kept on hitting it and it came off. So what I'm gonna do is take a little sandpaper and just make sure that that is smoother than it, I guess it is, so not any more little pieces or chunks come off. So with further inspection and shining a light down in here, I'm seeing more chunks. Oh, what that was. It just fell out. See that there's more chunks of crap in there.
Gel.
The gel, that's grease for the,
Oh, right.
yeah, so I don't know what this is now. Yeah, I gotta put that back. But it has to do with the solenoid. No, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I took the solenoid out. I don't see a replacement for this, so I'm hoping that that's not broken. Otherwise, you gotta just replace the whole shifter. They don't make, I think maybe they make new ones, or there are new ones. But there's used ones, but I figure, well, if I buy a used one, will the same stupid thing happen? So what's the point?
Yeah.
But I don't see that solenoid like for sale. So that's kind of frustrating. But I'm gonna try to get whatever chunks of stuff are stuck in the mechanism down there out. and hopefully put this back where it was and that it functions the same. Yay, good times. Theo is giving me the look. Alrighty, so I had an issue with the shifter being stuck in drive and neutral, and it still has the problem, even though it's out of the car. Took it apart, there was a plastic piece stuck in it, so I removed all that. The solenoid, also the wire sheathing, was just crumbling off, so I tried to separate those wires, use some silicone and electrical tape, and then just reinstalled the solenoid. Yeah, so that's kind of, we're gonna put it back in. I don't know if it's an electronic issue that's causing the shifter not to release, so it can go into reverse and park. So I'm gonna put this back in, hook it up, turn the car on, and see if it will work. Otherwise, I guess I'm just gonna replace the shifter, because if the solenoid is the problem, I don't see where to purchase a new one separately from buying the whole unit, either used or I guess they have new ones. That it's daylight. You can see there's the rod. Get that out of the way. There we go. Seriously. So you got drive or park. I don't know how it goes. 1, 2, 3. So reverse, neutral, drive. So the transmission itself is working fine. Attach that shifter to this, and using that that little clip that slides over. It goes through the hole, and then you slide that clip over to hold it in place. But I can't film and do that. This ring, and then that's gonna hold the rod to the shifter. I'll show you that, now that I have it in there. So it's just a little clip, and now it's reattached. So now we have this little guy that needs to go into that slot there, little circle, and just turns in there. Gotta turn it, and now it's locked in. So sitting in the car, I'm turning it left to get it to remove it. So I turn it to the right now to lock it back in place. So that's in there, nice. Okay, so now I just need to attach these harnesses. And 2. Okay, so those are on. Next is what? We got 2 more. So I want to make sure I'm not hitting any wires. So let's see how it goes in. Now we can go in one way. And turn it around. And this just clicks in also nice and easy. Oh, well, I'm ahead of myself, aren't I? I didn't bolt the shifter back in. All right, Well, now I'm showing you how I did that. So that just pops out once you have the boot out. So now I gotta do this all over again. All right.
Shifter in. So I'll just tighten those three and then put top through. This console comes in and out easy. You just slide that piece in there. Just make sure the wires are going to clear. I'm not pinching anything. And this just clicks nice and easy.
Shifter's back in, everything's reconnected, and we're just gonna see. Right now it's in drive, so it wouldn't start in drive, but it will start in neutral. Car starts. The same retractable roof issue that's been going on a while, but no other faults are coming up. That was the case before. So it shifts in drive. Same thing. It will not go into reverse for some reason. It refuses to do it. I've pumped the brakes. I've done all sorts of crap to try to get it. And let's go. One time I rolled it in neutral and then did it and I was able to get it in. I couldn't tell you why. So, hey. Yeah, honestly, it's a bit frustrating. It is a bit frustrating. Oh well. I guess I'm gonna have to get a new shifter. What are you gonna do? See ya. Okay, so I pulled the shifter back out, took it apart again, and you can see down in there's like a mechanism. Get it to focus down in there, maybe. It's decent. Yeah, there's a mechanism in there. I used a flathead to push up on it, and that's what that's what that yellow tab is for, and that connects to this little mechanism that allows you to put it back in park. Now that mechanism wasn't working when I had it out, so I took my flathead and I forced it up myself after taking out the the solenoid to release the park, and then at that point it went into park, and then a plastic piece fell out. Another plastic piece fell out. Where is it? There it is. So this popped out after I lifted that mechanism in the bottom and it went into park. That's when that guy fell out. So now I'm gonna put everything back together again and see if everything is all well, if it'll come out of park when I start the car and put my foot on the brake pedal and put it in drive, reverse, and then back into park again. And hopefully it was just that silly piece of plastic that was jamming it the whole time. So I gotta put this little mechanism back in. So what I did was I just slide it over the top of that, and then I take my needle nose. That metal tab is already over it, so I'm just gonna kind of maneuver it to go into the slot. That'll keep it where it needs to be. There. Okay. So now that's holding it. Once the solenoid goes back in there, that'll hold it. So you can see, I push this piston and it'll have a little pressure That's how it should be. And then that's what you're essentially doing when you push this tab down. So you're pushing that solenoid in and out to release the park. All right, so I'm gonna screw this back in, put it back together. Giddy up. Okay, so we got the solenoid in, nice and tight. The mechanism is working the way it should. I'll put this back in. And I'll put the cover back in and put this harness in and the 4 screws. Okay, harness is back in. The 4 screws are back in and tight. And I'm not gonna glue this because I don't really want to, and I don't know if we're gonna have another issue and I gotta take it out again. So I'm gonna put this little guy back in, I guess. That just snaps in there. All right, time to reinstall again. Alrighty. Okay, so I have it back together. So you can see it's in park now. That was the question. I was looking on the internet, I couldn't find anything. Was if this is disconnected from the car, should it be able to go into park? So now I know it can. I just had to, well, like I said, pry up that mechanism in the bottom of this shifter box. And like I said, a piece of plastic flew out, which I'm guessing was jamming it, because before I did everything I could to get everything that was in there out. So it didn't seem like there was any plastic left to come out. But by getting it out, by prying that thing and moving it, it dislodged one more decent sized piece of plastic. So I'm gonna put this in, and then I'll put the negative battery terminal back on. Shifter is in park. My foot's on the brake. I'm just gonna start it. I'm gonna see if there's any error codes. I'm not seeing any error codes. I'm gonna put it. It's going in reverse. It's in neutral. It's in drive. Same on the dashboard here. Go neutral, reverse, nice and easy. Before is impossible. Park. That is a relief, I'm not gonna lie. That was an absolute journey to get to this moment. All because of a piece of plastic. So, I'll show you, I pretty much put the whole shifter thing back, but I actually dropped the bolt underneath the seat, so I gotta take this out again. But yeah, I'll put that stuff back on. You can see reverse, neutral, drive. Nice and easy. Before, impossible. And everything on the dash, reverse, neutral, drive. This is where it would get stuck. Now it's easy peasy. All right, that's it. Problem solved, piece of plastic. I want to thank the people that posted their process of figuring out it was a piece of plastic. I really thought that's what it was, but because it kept not working, I was thinking maybe it's the shifter. So I was about to spend $600, but I'm like, you know what? Let me take it back out, mess around with the mechanisms a little deeper, and just see what happens. And sure enough, it was just another piece of plastic that was really lodged in there and wasn't allowing things to move. So there you go. Remember, you're wonderful, beautiful, talented, and amazing just the way you are. And if you don't believe it, well, start believing it already, because it's the truth for every single one of us here on planet Earth. All right, have a good one. Thanks for watching.